Hello, I hope you are well. I wasn't expecting to do another channeling video I'm going to put it out tomorrow. I've been asked to do it at specific times, so I wasn't expecting that because I normally do one for the days I said I'd upload Wednesdays, Saturdays and Sundays, and I was going to put another healing video in between, but I've been asked to do this. I had bit of a strange night. I will be talking about that more on the memberships Orion channel in an exclusive video, but I will be doing a short of a little snippet of information about it as well. I had a very famous visitor in my room last night who scared the life out of me. Not in a horrible way, I just did not expect to see him there. So, and yeah, you can learn about that more on the memberships, or there'll be a little short about it as well. But no, you know, if you want to know more about the intruders that keep coming into my home from the spirit world, and there's been a few, please check out that video on the Orion membership. Okay, anyway, this channeling is very important. As I say, I was asked to put it out there. Before I begin, please like, share, subscribe. And I just want to say a big shout out to Eva Girl and Holly for being on memberships, and thank you for supporting my channel, and thank you to all of you returning to watch these videos, which I'm doing more of on the main part of the channel. Thank you very much for supporting me and giving me encouragement, because it's been quite scary. So thank you very much, and I'm glad you liked the healing video. There will be more of them. Okay, so before this meditation began, I was sitting on the sofa. Didn't expect it. I just got up. I hadn't even had my coffee probably yet. But anyway, I was asked to sit there, just be quiet for a moment. And then I was sitting facing the television. Now the television wasn't on, but I can see what's going on behind me. And somebody, one of the men in black, the shadow men who are in my home all the time, if you want to know more about that, please check out previous videos. And one of them came to stand, remember I can physically see them, came to stand behind me. So, and I knew he was hovering around my head area, and he put an old-fashioned doctor's bag at the side. And then he started touching my head as if he was giving me energy healing. I couldn't see who it was. When I did the healing, when I look back through it, I could see the guy who, call him Dr. Barnes, who is always around me, who is always looking after me. And there are other healers, doctors, spirit doctors. And he was healing with me. I could see him over my face. My face kept changing. And another guy with a big black tash who I do not know who that was, but a healer, obviously. So, yeah, I know these people are around me. So I thought, oh, here we go. They're going to check my head again. So, because that's where my health condition comes from, with the functional movement disorder. So, or neurological disorder, as they call it now. Anyway, so that all started. And I have to tell you that I don't know why I have to keep talking about that, but it's part of it. Okay, so a doctor's bag was very old-fashioned. It was really weird, like one of those brown leather ones, you know, the little back handle, that kind of thing. And so I started having energy healing. Now, within the meditation, I'm going to tell you this first. I have seen the faces of them walk around, and I've just gone, I can't deal with that at the moment. But they're alien faces, you know, like you see an alien face, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Greyish, but not greys. Definitely not greys, because they would have scared the wits out of me. No, they're very tall, very gentle. And at one point in the meditation, two of them came behind me, and they were touching my head. I could see them on my mind's eye, because I was traveling and my eyes were closed, traveling in my meditation. So, but I knew they'd come to stand behind me and weren't touching my head. And they were just touching it, they weren't doing anything, and I wasn't frightened. So I just thought I'd tell you that before I get into it. Okay, so begin with, now I haven't got this in order because they didn't let me write it down. They made me write it down afterwards, which is something they sometimes do. So the San Francisco Bridge again. And it was when I closed my eyes and I started traveling. So I was moving up in the air and I was looking down on it. And I do go down to it at one point, and I'm standing there. Now, in previous videos, I've talked about a fracture being in one of the bottom parts, the top rung of the actual sides of the bridge, having a fracture, a stress fracture somewhere, and spirits being very concerned about it because of earthquakes, and they knew earthquakes were coming. This is quite important because they asked me to heal it last time, and they asked me to put some more healing into it again. So the energy healing that I have. So I did that when I was standing there. And at that point, because it's a lot to do with war, I heard war comes as well. But I saw Sir Winston Churchill standing on the San Francisco Bridge. And I was actually standing there with him at another point. And as we stood there and speak to him, a British frigate came underneath the bridge, which is kind of odd. It was definitely a British flag. Now, as a postgraduate historian, you know, when Sir Winston Churchill, he had an American mother, and he was very keen. He set up with, I think it was Roosevelt, the special relationship that the UK has with the US. So I didn't know if it was a reference to that, okay, the ally thing. So I don't know, but they were very concerned about the bridge again. And they gave me a message later on about that, but I will tell you that at the end because that's when they gave it to me. Then there was another, he went and there was an older man walking across the bridge in robes with his staff. Now I've seen this guy before and he's Moses. I've seen him in meditations many times, so he's the energy of Moses. So I wasn't sure that, I mean, to me that's about leading people out of oppression. So if that's anything to do with anything like that, you know, going on in the US, the world, which there is everywhere, quite frankly, and in a spiritual sense as well. So maybe that's what, you know, he was bridge. I looked up what bridge meant because I say a lot of bridges. By the way, I've got to say the Brooklyn Bridge is safe again. I don't know who's worrying about that, but somebody is. But I looked it up and I got a few things, symbolism for bridge. Symbolic of communication and union. Could be heaven and earth or two distinct realms representing them. Refer to different worlds. I just wrote this down quick. Connection between God, universe, white light, divine consciousness, whatever you want to call it, and humanity. Maybe the passage to reality or merely a symbol for travel and crossing. Okay, I got this off the internet. Passage from one state to another higher one, such as ascension, and the end of a cycle and the beginning of another. In many cultures I read, and it's really weird, where I got most of this information, there was no details of, because normally I write down who it's from. There was nothing. It didn't say who it was from, nothing. It was really weird. In many cultures, it is the link between what can be perceived and what is beyond perception, or at least a change or desire for change, okay? So, can be a test to see who is brave, who will cross. So I think we're talking about ascension, communication. I'll talk about communication between the dimensions and how, you know, things are, the spiritual war is affecting all the dimensions. So it may be about that cross communication between the worlds. Okay, so on out of the way. Right, so war comes. Right, that's the fraction. I have to go through my notes again. Then I saw myself sending energy across the, when I was just standing there, across the bridge. And it was a big line of energy, sort of goldish looking energy that I use. And it was like a stream. It was quite odd, I don't know. It was, but if we're looking at the analogy of it being different worlds, it's almost like, because I see that later on in the meditation, but in space. But it's like a long beam of light going from one side to the other, but coming from me. So I don't know if I'm sort of sending a communication to another world, or it's part of the healing for the bridge, but it didn't seem to be that communication from one portal to another. It'll become a bit clearer when I go on through the meditation, hopefully. Then again, I was seeing symbols. Now, I've drawn the symbol as I saw it, but I actually saw it on the side, so I've drawn it twice. And I'll try to hold it up. Somebody said to me I needed to, no laughing at my drawings though, because I just wrote them down quick. Okay, so it was more on its side like this. Okay, then I saw lots of triangles again with degrees on them in space. And I saw the Angel of the North, where I've talked about, where I come from in the UK, Newcastle upon Tyne, up in the north of the country. And I keep saying that for some reason. Then I was going through a black hole in time, found myself back in my own home when I was a child, to the point I could see we're talking 70s at this point, and we're talking, I was a child, green carpets. I got changed to a lovely peach one eventually, thank God, but that's another story. So I found myself back there with my Duran Duran poster on the wall. The poster was in the wrong place at the start, and then it moved to, I don't know if that's relevant, but everything that happens in these videos, or what I say, is somehow relevant. Okay, then I started seeing myself at various ages. I couldn't tell you what, I wasn't sure what age I was supposed to be when I was back in time, but I was looking out the blinds or trying to look out of the window, this big long window in my room, and I was trying to look out of it, but the blinds were shut. I've forgotten what you call them, vertical blinds, whether they were can't remember what you call them, but they were shut and I couldn't see out, and which was kind of odd. But then I saw myself. It's really weird when you remember clothes back from when you were a kid. So we're talking, I must have been about, one of the versions of me was about 12, I'm getting, green dress with those horrible long white socks. Oh, awful. And that horrible hairstyle that my mother forced on me. That's another story. That's quite funny because, you know, it looked great on Joanna Lumley in The Avengers, but not on me at that age. A purgy cut. Oh, it was awful. And then I saw myself. Now, I must have been 9. I'm getting about 9, they're telling me. 9. And I remember it was a grey skirt, and this is when I was at the junior school, and I had a stripy jumper that I've seen a few times when I've meditated, and I don't know why they take me back. And I was walking with 2 friends. I keep it was when I was starting to feel like a bit more grown up. I don't know why, so I must have been on the way to 10, I don't know. I was starting to feel a bit more grown up, and they want me to feel that feeling again. So that's relevant to you somewhere, you know, for someone. So a passing of time into another dimension of age, I've just heard. Anyway. Oh, all right. So if I was 9, that's going to be 1979. So 1980 was coming up. So that's relevant. Okay. And then I had a weird thing where I was actually back at my old school. okay? And I'm looking in the window of the classroom, and it was really freaky because I can read, it's almost like I can touch the window. But again, the blinds were closed and I couldn't see in. And it was the last classroom I had. Last classroom I had at the junior school. Now, I remember when that school was built, I was a toddler because they were building it and there were mounds of earth. And I had that vague picture when I turned to look at the school field that was directly adjacent to the classroom. Because we could come out of another door in the classroom and go onto the field. And we sometimes did that. If the weather was warm, the teacher would, read us a story on there or whatever. Or, whatever it was. And this big field. But I remember it being like mounds of earth. And I could see these mounds of earth again because we were playing on them while they were still building that school. And it was at the bottom of my street. So yeah, that was kind of strange. I don't know what the relevance of it was. Classroom teaching, having something to learn, but not allowing. All right, so I wonder, I'm getting this feeling that it's maybe about knowledge that we are not allowed to see yet that's going to come out. But it's almost like we're having to learn it. It's like we've had to go back to school, but we can't see the knowledge yet. I don't know, there must be the same relevance of me looking out my bedroom window. So thoughts would be great. Okay. Yeah, it was weirdness at home because I was outside again, and it's almost like I could see myself at different ages coming in and out. And I always see, sometimes we had a caravan, and that was later though. And the caravan would, or was it? I can't remember. But it would be in the driveway. My parents would clean it before it went back if we'd been on holiday, or clean it before we went away because it would go back to storage and the storage park. And so I could see that, but I could see myself different ages on the street. And I was walking in and out of the house. So it was kind of odd. I don't understand that fully. Okay, that's that one. Then I was in the infant playground of the school, which was another section, obviously. I know in America you call them grades. Well, they're infants, juniors. And year 1, 2, whatever. Now it was infant playground. That's all I'm gonna say. That's what was in my eye, as they say. And I remember, and I keep coming back to this memory, and I don't know why. I have some very strange memories. I was telling my son yesterday, I don't know why I keep coming back these strange menus. Why did I say menu? Okay, everything's relevant, remember. The fact that I'm sitting next to all these books has got to be relevant knowledge, isn't it? Yeah, there's something about knowledge in this message. Knowledge yet to come, or knowledge to impart. Okay? From the other realms. Okay. So that's the message. But I remember I was playing in the playground. It was morning break. And I can see it really clearly. And there is wall, and there are some shops down here. And Auntie Marie, from where I used to live as a young child, had obviously come to the shops there, and then she could see me. So she said hello, and she started talking to the teacher. Why do I keep getting that memory? It's very odd. Now, Auntie Marie, we used to call neighbours Auntie, Marie, whatever. That's just what we did. It was polite to do that in my time, and back when I was a child. And she keeps coming into my mind. So whether she's part of this team or she's relevant somehow, I don't know. So if you get memories like that, what is that person trying to tell you or represent for you? Because I don't get it. She's a spirit visitation who wants me to get a message across or anything like that. She's representing something in my dream, and this is clearly relevant for you. So whether you've had that experience recently, I don't know, but they represent something. I can't work it out because I also remember playing a game with these little bust heads of famous people. And she used to babysit me when my parents went out, or because my mum was running a hairdressing salon at the time. So I remember going in there and she would play this game, but there were busts of people. They were famous. And Napoleon. I always remember Napoleon. And they were white. So I don't know if that's relevant. That's making me feel quite odd. I vaguely remember a husband now. Okay. It's got to be relevant because I'm telling you, they would cut me off if it was, not right. So, and then I had another experience. So there's something to do with a father figure for people here. Or is it, grander message. I'm getting founding father, which is odd because my dad's, no, he's not that, no. Anyway, by the school, by the infant playground, was this run up to get to my street, actually, and to the estate up at the top and down to the other estates of houses the other way. And he'd taken me to school at one point, and this is not the same time, this is another time to see Auntie Marie, and it was when I lived there. When I knew Marie, it was the other way. It's really odd. And so he was standing at the top to watch me go into school or make sure I'd gone in. And I think this is the first time I realised, well, I didn't realise I was an empath, but I felt extreme sadness that I was having to leave my father, which is kind of odd because I don't speak. It's not that I don't speak, it's as a big family altercation. Please don't comment about it or ask me about it because I'm not going to go into it. It's massive and no, there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, it's a very long story. And I just felt I didn't want to leave my father. And I felt this really strong surge. Now, I was 5, 6, okay? And I felt that really strongly right here. And I went into the school and I cried, and it was an overwhelming feeling. And I can still see him standing there in that purple coat of what? 70s or some other outfits. Anyway, I have the nerve to try and bring him back. They bring donkey jackets back. I don't understand. Anyway, and they think it's so cool. The guys, he's got to work in donkey jackets. I don't understand. It was workman's, that was, people worked in them. I think it's so fashionable now. I don't get it. So anyway, he had this coat on, and I think it was the first time I realised I was an empath. So whether some of you are having that kind of experience, I don't know. Okay, so yeah, it's relevant somehow. I am going to be doing a video on messages because of my little poll that I ran on the community post. People would like messages. We'll do a live at some point. Just give me time to get the courage for that. I'm doing baby steps, and they're doing baby steps with me. So, but I will be doing a video on, whatever messages I get for people. I don't know when, because they tell me, they give me the timetable. So I'll be doing that at some point in the week. But anyway, so whether some of you are getting intense emotional feelings that you should pay attention to, there can be things about the future. Okay, and I'm talking like way into the future. Okay, so, or a father figure's trying to get through to you somehow, or impart some knowledge, some information for your journey, for your starseed, light worker, or just life purpose, mission. Okay, so be aware of that. There may be signs, symbols, and it's to do with all of this spiritual warfare that's going on. Okay, so then we're in space. I'm always in space. I had a great thing at one point where I was looking out of a round window from space. So clearly I was in a spacecraft looking down on the Earth. Really, really odd. I've had dreams like that years ago. I've been in a spacecraft. And I've seen giant angels in space. And oh, it's a fun ride with me. I've just seen a blue light go across my hair here. Then they told me, oh, that's right. Before I'd gone to the bit with my home, I'd gone through a black hole, according to them. Okay, then they showed me one black hole and another one, but they're like portals. And it was like the bridge, when I think about this, line of light like this, okay? And going through one hole, the other, because I was heading towards this hole, and I turned and looked back, and I could see what this beam of light coming towards it. It was white though, it was white light. So I could be looking at divine consciousness, I don't know, but something's going along that stream of light, whether it's knowledge, I don't know, healing energy, some sort. I don't know, but it's coming from a different dimension. I've got yellowish light here, but I'm now seeing it as white. Is that correct? They're both correct. Okay, then I've been saying something that has quite shocked me. I've talked about the men in all the black, shadow men, standing in the field, shadow people. But it's the men I'm seeing mostly at the moment. And they're our army. They're basically armies, and they're standing in a field. It's like some of them sat down because they were waiting. Probably that's an indication of you're taking too long to understand this message or something, I don't know. But I have seen them, and it's like me at the front. And it's interesting, they have me in my skirt and a big jumper with a big polo neck, warm. So I've seen that a lot. They show me, I'm usually wearing black, but they keep showing me in this jumper. So that's, I don't know what that's a reference to, but the clothes mean something. So, but behind me, it's like Star Trek, not Star Trek, Star Wars, you know, like the Clone Wars, all the armies. It's like that, but behind me. And I'm right in the front, which is kind of scary. So they've shown me that a lot, and they're like standing to attention. So, again, I saw lots of things last night, but I'll be talking about that in my other video. It's connected to this though. And I was somewhere else, loads of people again, and I'm always directed to this throne. It's all white, but I'm directed to this red throne. And I have to sit in this red throne in front of all these people. And it's kind of, there's somebody in robes, and I can't make out everything because they wanted me to focus on the red chair, the throne. Okay, lots of people in white again. I saw a group of them. It's almost like they changed, and they were putting on like British police clothes, like what's it called, you know, bulletproof vest things. Police, I often see police, I don't know, and they were standing in line. They did that thing where, you know, you put your arm out to make sure you're in the right place, and soldiers. So they did that, but in police uniform, the hats on, everything. Very odd. Right, I'm trying to think what I saw. Angel, like Archangel Michael, and there was Pegasus. He was on that. I had an odd experience where I seemed to be in another place where it's all white again, but it was weird. I went up these white steps. It was very like fantasy world, but I went up these steps, and there was just this green door with a frame, and I was with them, and I went through this green door. If that means anything to anyone, let me know. It led to nowhere. There was nothing on either side. It wasn't a building, nothing. It was just a door, and I had to go through it. So, what else? I'm getting there. There's so many things to go through. Oh. So a nuclear explosion, it's say again, like the mushroom cloud, it keeps saying that. I'm just going to read out all the images I saw now, because they're all higgledy-piggledy, the images, but they all mean something. So maybe the way I'm telling them hopefully will convey the message in the correct order that they wanted. Okay, they're channeling through me. So Statue of Liberty, saw that again, and I heard we fight for liberty, so do you. They did say when I was on the San Francisco Bridge, war comes. So then they put a toy Statue of Liberty on the table in front of the where I was sitting, and I don't know why, but they did. They're talking about my liberty as well. So liberty is the starseed, and having the courage to come forward. So they're wanting that from you as well. Then they all stand to attention. They've put a light on that. That was about them all standing in the field. So I think that's a call to all starseeds to come and stand to attention, to do them, as in do your mission, what you've been sent here for, whoever sent you, and what you're supposed to do. Okay. What else? Yeah. Then I taken to another place. I've been here a few times before with my main guide, and there was one pyramid. I sort of touched ground. It's all very sort of desert, and I walk up the path and then open the door of this pyramid, and I walk into it. I don't know what goes on, but I then became aware that there was another pyramid next to it with a line attached to it. Again, it's that stream of light, but it was actually like a path from one pyramid to the other. So that's clearly something they're trying to get across here. A passage from one world to the other, knowledge, all those things I was talking about. I kept seeing horses again with riders waiting on a field. What have I forgotten anything? Then I was saying, was at the end, basically I was walking across a bridge, wooden somewhere, but this huge dust cloud behind me, and it was coming towards me. Again, I wasn't frightened, and it was just covering and destroying everything behind me. And then I forgot. Then all of a sudden I was above the world, and it went all over the world. I could see it all over planet Earth. And then it was weird, all these little pyramids came out, like made it look like spiky, and it disintegrated. Now I've seen this before. So the world broke apart, everything, and out of it came another little planet Earth again, fresh, new, but small. So I wondered about this, why I say it's small. It's fresh, clean, pure, new. It's perfect. It's new. It's lovely. It's a really good vibe from it. Really good, you know. So I was wondering if that's breaking structures. I mean, they did show me my old money box from my uncle bought it for me and my brother years when I was a child, again, late 70s. I wonder if this means anything, the time period, late 70s, just the 80s, early 80s. No, that's 1970, the one, 70, 79. What happened? 79. This money box. And they showed me an old 10p Okay, the old one with the lion with a crown on it, on the, yeah. I might try and get a picture of that. They showed me that, but money, and it's the world. It's like they're directing me. I keep seeing this book up here, and it's got the world. It's all about countries to visit in the world, and my eyes keep focusing in on it all the time. So it's definitely a change in the economy. I think it's the new world is like breaking down all structures, breaking everything down. And I actually wondered if it was getting rid of technology. I don't know why I got that, and to start again. So I don't know. It's a bit apocalyptic in a way, but I don't know why it would get rid of technology. But that's what I get in my head. That's a question as well. I'm just getting correct. So, and it's fresh, it's clean, it's pure, it's new. But it's something to get rid of technology. Maybe it's certain technology that's been causing a problem. Advanced surveillance, I'm getting. It's all been broken down. Technology is going to be broken down. It's causing a problem. It's causing too much advancement in the dark direction and a negative direction now. So it's going to be pulled back. Please remember, I am the messenger. These are not my opinions. You don't know my opinions on a lot of things. I'm just the messenger, okay? And I believe, is that it? Oh, then I've talked about in a previous video about Mary, who is breaking down. Do you know, I wonder, Mary, if she's got red hair, everything. I still keep wondering, and I didn't get it at the time, I don't think. I'd have to look back. But I still keep wondering, Mary, Catholic, Mary, you know, Mary, Mother of Jesus, but she's meant to represent women as a whole. Hey, I don't do, you know, different, I do different religions. I'm into faith, put it this way. And on occasion, atheist, the way I feel sometimes. I'm everything. And so don't think I'm deliberately assigning it to a religion. I'm not, but it's that kind of thing. It's almost like mother of women and pushing things forward. And she breaks down this big door, you know, that. But it's not just her. There's men involved as well. And so I think it's not just about that. It's about all the structures. It's about things that have held men back or haven't allowed men, gender, and, you know, and they run across this chessboard floor. That's all I know. And I don't know what the building is. Before, I've been shown it different ways, different times, but in this meditation, blue light here, I don't know. Purpley blue light, all right. You want me to tell you where this building is, okay? Or what it is this time. It means different things each time, so okay, then there's a pyramid next to it, yes, and that's when then I went into the desert land. That's correct. But what's really weird is I remember I was on a cruise with my ex-husband. I can still see him there. But the memory was of please forgive me, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a fantastic bridge coming out of Bergen in Norway, and they confirmed it was Bergen because I could see the coloured houses on the dot. And it was definitely Bergen, and I could see myself going under that bridge at Bergen. So please forgive me, I can't remember the name if you're watching from Norway. I'll try and put it in the description. So very odd, a lot about bridges, and it's all connected to that stream of light as well. It's building a bridge between the worlds, the realms, the more understanding, being more open about it, that they exist. Okay, so things to be worked out there. Then they gave me, later on, I did see a clock, and that's, I call him the old man, he's like an elder statesman with a top hat, But he doesn't wear black, he wears brown coat sometimes when I see him. I get very annoyed at him at times. He runs this like clockwork, like my life, my mission. He's like an elder statesman. Sometimes he really annoys me. I shout at him, don't you tell me that, old man. That's what he wants to be called, I believe. Old man. And so yeah, I get a bit of jarring with some of them because they run it like military. They run me like military. You've got no idea. Anyway, so what did I have to, oh yeah. I mean, before I tell you the bit about the clock, actually the dust. What did I write down about dust? Well, I mean, it's debris to me. What did I write? Represents death or a new cycle, the cycle's beginning. Dust symbolizes as humans we are part of creation. Dust is simply the absence of existence. It can be referred to as impending changes, renewal and birth, clearing the path for success. And then it can go into personal things, like neglecting something important, facing resistance on your path to success, conflicts with close ones, etc. So that's more of a personal bit. So I find that interesting, but they showed me a clock and they've done it several times in meditations, and I keep seeing 3 o'clock. Then I started to see after 3 o'clock, so 3:02. Okay, so that's 15:00 or 15:02, 25 o'clock. So, but then I got this message, and I'm gonna have to go to the first. Again about the San Francisco Bridge, and basically it's referring to 2 more earthquakes, San Francisco, one at 3 o'clock, one at 3:02. That's 15:00 or 15:02 and 15:02. Unexpected 21st of March. Okay. And I know somebody in the comments on one of my meditations confirmed what I'd said, that there'd been earthquakes. So just a heads up on that one, okay? That bridge, there is a stress fracture on that bridge. Towards the left. And that's, my stomach's rumbling is confirmation. That is definitely, to confirm that. Okay, I'm going to end it here. It's gone on for long enough. But as I say, the fun-packed week full of videos and membership ones. If you want to find out about my famous person who came last night, there will be a show, and there will be more details in the membership video on the Orion one. So check them out. Another healing's coming up, so more channelings and personal messages. Thank you for filling in the poll. That really helped me. Okay, if you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification button if you want to know when new videos are coming out. And if you would like a personal reading, they're £35 for 45 minutes. Please contact me via my email and we'll arrange an appointment. Okay? Take care of yourselves. I shall see you next time.